This presidential jet arrived in 2010. The records in Parliament, please check the Parliamentary Hansard. We were told that a presidential jet has a lifespan of a minimum.
Pusiafo nyamishra bibia. Ye frame no gokpo artists. Aha, Ghana Nsem TV. Ebusiafo Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa. Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa. Dear Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa dia ye na na adodanko akufo over aircraft issue we. Ebusiafo mama ye ko share video no na yembra na yeba yebeto aso. Nyamishra bibia.
Have told you that this is a transoceanic and a transcontinental.
When he used it for watching
I was there for the UN General Assembly.
The engines failed. The engines failed.
Machines at the President Mahama 2015. President Mahama actually had two incidents, 2015 and 2014. That's why it has three engines. When one engine fails, nothing fatal.
The president has to make an emergency landing.
After 30 minutes it was not something to be scary about. Look, it is not. Look, President Mahama had the same incident twice. It didn't stop President Mahama from using the
like flying. Look.
Bushafo, mohu, Okudzeto Ablakwa ibeni we. Okudzeto mi krom ni o ofi mi krom ni she adwimboni e wo ni trementi ya ka say presidential jet no e wo problem but because of adwimboni any politics fina NDC for the biomo yenentino omudi bad mind atu go team Ghana for tremo Ghana for abonanado danko akufado chidom sa. But and then the same Okudzeto Ablakwa Vice President Eyarino or charter plane from UK and the mamine back room has it. But that time na dia se na nado ko charter plane na Okudzeto Ablakwa sa Sami Jemfi any St. George, these three NDC guys, they don't allow Nado to rest. But they are doing opposite of the Ayamuka when they were in opposition.
This presidential jet arrived in 2010. The records in Parliament, please check the Parliamentary Hansard. We were told that a presidential jet has a lifespan of a minimum 20 years. So 2010, when the aircraft arrived, plus 20 years, that gives you 200, it gives you from now to 2030, from 2010 to 2030. That's minimum 20 years. Now we all know that with these aircrafts, if your maintenance regime is good, if you take good care of the aircraft, that minimum 20 years, you can even double it. Our Ghana Air Force, the Communications Squadron, which is in charge of presidential jets, is celebrated the world over for their high maintenance culture. We all know that. If you take in Ghana's history, this is our fourth presidential jet. The Fokker 28, which a champion purchased for us in the 1970s. Our Air Force has been able to take very good care of Fokker 28 for well over 35 years. So even this minimum period of 20 years, you can see that is very generous. It can go beyond that. Now, I am even more fortified in the position I take that the minimum period of 24
mohu adimbonia ewo NDC for bi mutremo ena Okudzeto Ablakwa na owo opposition na debia okache na adotanko akofado si on use presidential jet no na shi si yesi iji na kranya fort no o si debi obetuma yuzu ba ene Okudzeto Ablakwa, that same Okudzeto Ablakwa is now the foreign minister what's Ghana has say, and he allow John Dramani Mahama president to be using chartered flights any ni jet. These were the things you people talk against in opposition. Today you are in government. You are in government. You can what him say, Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa told us, say, if they come to power and John Dramani Mahama try say obey use different flights apart from presidential jet, he will resign. And I said, so to me, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa will resign. But up to now, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, you are still you are still holding your position very, very tight. You don't want to lose it. What has changed now? What has changed now? And then they see there, who to be my president or to be chapter and I say or to be the new private jet ending now. Me see, Kama do not need your address to visit you. Kama, they don't need address to visit you people. It's in the Yamu, and one I'm better, and one I'm better. I will say for my young continue video. In
the 1970s, our Air Force has been able to take very good care of Fokker 28 for well over 35 years. So even this minimum period of 20 years, you can see that is very generous. It can go beyond that. Now, I am even more fortified in the position I take that the minimum period of 20 years could even exceed that, because a country like Namibia, a Falcon, theirs is a much older version. Ours was a newer version, the 900 EXE. The Namibians bought the 700 EX. And all of this information is available online. Viewers can check if I'm peddling any falsehood. So the Namibians bought theirs in 1990. They are still using it. Ours arrived 2010 and we are making excuses. Excuses that are unfounded, that are baseless. Excuses that we have asked. You say that these claims are coming from experts. We have been asking in Parliament. Tell us who those experts are. Let us see the evidence of experts telling you that don't use this aircraft for a long-range travel. Up to now, they cannot tell us. They cannot produce or adduce any evidence to that effect. Now, the Namibians, President Nger of Namibia, is still using a Falcon 700 EX, which they bought in 1990. They are still using it. The last UN General Assembly, when I tracked, and I've been tracking this, I have the systems to track this. President Nger of Namibia used their Falcon, which they bought in 1990. Over a 30-year Falcon. He used it to New York, to the General Assembly meeting. Only in September, a few months ago. All these meetings the president is attending. That's what the Namibian president, President Nger, has been using. Take President Macron of France. His aircraft that he's using now also arrived in 2010, the same year our presidential jet arrived. President Macron of France is still using his presidential jet, which arrived in 2010, the same year, 12-year-old aircraft. That is what President Macron used when he visited Ghana in 2017. That is what he used when he went to Rwanda.
So you're making
a few months ago.
You're making the case that
so
the aircraft is not old enough to be retired.
Yes. So, yes. So please, it's important to really bring my point home.
Okay.
Take the United States of America, the famous Air Force One. When was it purchased? You can check. 1991. That's when the Americans purchased Air Force One. That is what current President Biden is still using. President Obama's period, they began discussions about changing it. That is now reached its lifespan. Is, after 30 years, they want to change it. But President Trump, when he came to power, said that the plans for the replacement was too expensive, too elaborate. So he suspended it and reduced the cost and the scope. President Biden has also suspended it because of the pandemic. This is the world's wealthiest country, the United States of America. They are still using Air Force One they bought in 1991. We bought our presidential jet in 2010. It arrived.